During this visit to a senior center, I sat down beside an elderly lady who wanted to share stories from her past. Now, I didn't say much. I just sat down and listened to her. She spoke about her family, her childhood, and all the things that she missed, and especially her late husband. Or at least I think that's what she was talking about. My Chinese is terrible, so I didn't really understand her well. But that's besides the point. What I really wanted to say was, as she was speaking, her whole face changed. Her eyes brightened, her smile grew, and there was a lightness in her voice that wasn't there when I first walked in. In that moment, I could tell how deeply she needed someone who was simply willing to sit down and listen to her. Now, it wasn't anything medical that made that moment special. It wasn't treatment, nor was it equipment, nor was it any type of technology, really. It was the power of being listened to. It reminded me that sometimes the smallest human gestures, a quiet presence, can create the greatest impact. When people talk about the future of medicine, we often imagine incredible advancements, whether it be artificial intelligence, diagnosing diseases earlier than ever, robotic surgeries with absolute precision, machines that can monitor every heartbeat in real time, and genetic engineering rewriting what is possible. And yes, technology is transforming healthcare in extraordinary ways. It saves lives, it extends lifespans, and it pushes the boundaries of what was once impossible. But through these visits, I learned something important, something technology alone cannot teach. Technology may support the body, but it is empathy that reaches the heart. A year-long clinical study published in JAMA Network Open followed patients living with chronic illnesses and found that those who received empathetic care had much better health outcomes than those who received treatment without emotional support, even when medication and procedures were exactly the same. Science is showing us that compassion can be just as powerful as medicine, if not even more. Empathy isn't simply something extra in healthcare. It is part of what heals. On another medical shadowing visit, I met a patient who could no longer speak. He laid quietly in his bed. In fact, the whole room was quiet, with there only being the sound of a small oxygen machine next to his bed, doing everything it could to help him breathe. As we arrived and helped check the painful areas of his body, he looked at us with a warmth and softness that spoke more than words ever could. There was no conversation, no medical breakthrough, and no dramatic moment. But in that silence, there was connection. In that moment, I understood something deeply human. Sometimes, the greatest pain is loneliness, and the most powerful medicine is presence. No machine can ever replace that. No screen, algorithm, or sensor can ever hope to replicate the feeling of being seen. Research supports this too. A study published in the British Journal of General Practice found that when patients felt emotionally understood and supported, they often trusted their caregivers more, followed treatment more confidently, and felt as if they had more control over their own health. Connection isn't simply invisible in healthcare. In fact, it has very measurable outcomes. Technology may measure heart rate, but it cannot feel heartbreak. A machine can monitor oxygen levels, but it cannot comfort fear. Data can predict risks, but it cannot understand suffering. Graphs, charts, numbers all describe someone's condition, but they do not describe someone's story. In healthcare, we often focus so much on innovation, improvement, efficiency, that we often forget the simplest form of care. Listening, noticing, being there. Many patients aren't just waiting for treatment. They are waiting for connection, for someone who sits down beside them, not just someone who stands above them, for someone who cares, not just someone who cures. Remember, patients aren't just medical cases. They are people. People with hopes, families, memories, fears, pains, and stories that all deserve to be heard. The future of healthcare should not only be about smarter machines or faster diagnoses. It must also be about deeper connections. Because no matter how advanced technology becomes, human beings will always still need each other. They need someone who sees them, not just their condition. Someone who respects their dignity, even in silence. Empathy on its own may not cure diseases, but oftentimes it is the very first step towards healing. So, as we imagine the future of healthcare, let's not only ask, how can we treat faster? How can we innovate more? Let's also ask, how can we care better? Because long after a patient forgets the medications and procedures, they will remember how someone made them feel. If empathy guides our actions, then the future of healthcare will not only be advanced, it will be a future worth believing in. Thank you for your attention.